I think his Karthus was stronger.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, it might be due to the double kill he got early on.
Yeah, okay. It's always situational saying that, right? When he got the he got the double kill firing, into the fog of war and got that second one. So we'll see. Actually, they're coming really fast here. Elise, Draven, Karthus. So no Karthus. Lee Sin, Twist of Fate, Nunu. They're all back out. Then we see the Thresh being picked up first of all here by Copenhagen Wolves, and TCM saying, I'm gonna steal your Zyra.
Yeah, so that's really ballsy for Wolves to take Thresh so early on, when to me, Zyra was really more impactful in the game. So they're gonna lose out on that. We're gonna see if that will be support or actually maybe middle lane, but with Lysandra locked in, most likely going to be on Belgian BC yet again, and he might have finally an easier time on this champion in this game where he won't have to pop the flash at level 1 and his opponent won't have that early kill against him. And his Lysandra, I mean, it wasn't terrible. His engages, I really liked it. They're really aggressive. I mean, you saw him flash into engage sometimes. You saw the Baron pick, we just went in straight into the middle of the team and used it. He actually played a phenomenal Lysandra, but whether or not he's going to be able to do that again and maybe have it turn out a little bit differently is up to him.
Well, we're going to find out. They need it, because this is the grand final. It's game number 3 of a best of 3. If there's a time to shine, and it's today and now in this game, in this final one. So let's see then what are Copenhagen Wolves going to go for. Would never have guessed that here, that an Evelyn would be picked up once again, and it looks like they'll also take the Shen again for Youngwook. And again, we say it all the time, why change a winning formula?
Yeah, no reason not to, or there's no reason to. And Coutard, though, he's not going to have the Zyrus. I really want to know, what is he going to go back to with this? And I'm trying to think back to the spring promotion tournament back in February, I believe it was. Actually, it was January. And I think he played maybe a little bit of Ahri. It's a long time to think about. It's a lot of games between then and now. But, I mean, that might be a champion up his alley. Gives him that mobility to get away from Lysandra if he needs to. But honestly, he's going to have to come up big for his team here because he's not playing that comfort champion he really likes.
I think Oriana he played a lot of, which, with Evelyn and Shen diving in there, maybe he'll go for as well. Let's have a look on that one. Either way, Kha'Zix's in again for JWoww, and Matroko is sticking by the rat.
Yeah, third time for this series, and it's been working out quite well. I mean, he's had some really good position, and with every time TCM makes their lineup, it's all about 3 really heavy damage targets. And the thing is, he's always been able to sit in the back, and I don't even believe he's been out of position even once in most of these fights, and he's never usually the first to go down either. So he's very confident in that. It's just all about maybe getting a little bit of an earlier or a better start, or maybe his teammates getting a little bit of a better start.
So, Copenhagen Wolves having a bit of a discussion here. And we saw earlier on Reckless, actually the one with the notebook here, so he does a lot tactically here for this Copenhagen Wolves sides, and it looks like we could be seeing a Morgana coming out here for Coutard.
That is going to be really strong. So we've only seen that once in LCS, and that was on Froggen back in Moscow. And it worked out really well for him. I mean, people kind of forget how Morgana works. She's still very strong, and not to mention, Froggen said to me that with the 3.8 patch, you can start with a Doran's Ring, start with a health pot or 2, and then really be a dominating force in the lane. So it's pretty much going to counteract the Lysandra. So you can pretty much put that Black Shield either on, obviously, Reckless, on the Sugar, onto himself, and then keep himself alive.
Well, let's have a look then what TCM are going to round off their lineup with. They hung with Jarvan in game 1, but ended up in the end going with... Why do I not have this in my brain anymore, Jason? Who did they have in the jungle in game 1?
Oh, it was in last game. I can't remember.
It was Nocturne. Cheers, Freak. Good job we got Freak over there, who was paying attention to what we're saying during the course of the games. Yeah, when they were hovering on the Jarvan, then they switched it to Nocturne last second. This time around, though, they're going to be playing Jarvan. Okay,
so he's pretty much trying to control Coutard here with that ultimate to make sure he can't get to the middle of his team and use it. So if he uses it well, it can work out very well for his team. However, if he goes full I'm Jarvan, I'm helping mode, then he's going to lock his team in there with the Morgana ultimate and pretty much get them killed. So hopefully we'll be able to do the former of those two. And I'm really excited to see what's exactly going to happen here, because Coutard, it's all about those bindings. If you can land one, that means Shook has a very easy kill or a very easy gank.
So let's talk about momentum here as well, because it does happen it does swing in a best of 3 like this. TCM, good start. We saw them, they were jumped up, cheered, hugging each other, smiling, laughing after game number 1. None of that, though, after game number 2. But you saw the Copenhagen Wolves, they weren't laughing, smiling, joking, hugging after game 2 that they've just won. They know that there's still a longer game to go, but they're in that better frame of mind, I'd say, after winning that second game, coming into the third and final game. You can see there a lot of fingernail biting going on over on the TCM side. I think nerves are running high with this one.
Yeah, so I'm thinking momentum, and considering TCM lost to him last weekend at Gfinity, like that first game was like revenge for them. They're like, yes, we finally beat them. It gives them that spark of energy, but then to lose to them right after in the next map, it's got to really hurt for them. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to push past that and just, you know what, all right, guys, new game, it's all down to this map, forget about that one, and let's just come back really hard here. But I don't know, Copenhagen Wolves, with the experience that Reckless has, you know, being at IPL 5 in front of the best teams in the world, in front of the crowd that it was in front of, he has the experience to say to his team, you know, guys, calm down, let's just get focused, let's get in the right mindset and just win this game.
So, going to be getting in here in just a second to this one. TCM looking for that performance that won them game number 1. Couldn't quite replicate it for game 2. Well, there's certainly plenty of time from this one.
Still looks like a Spanish Nif.
A little bit. I'll give you a half for that one for Naruto, who holds the key around his neck. Hopefully it's the key to victory for TCM this time around, as we do jump into game scoreline 1-1 in this best of 3. As Kautar talking about the skins there coming in for this one. Doesn't matter about the skin, Kautar, you've got to pull out of the game here for this Morgana.
Yes, he does. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, especially with what's on the line here. But both teams I'm going to go ahead and take the question before you even ask me. Level 1, what do we got to see happen here? So Copenhagen Wolves, with that Dark Binding, they could set up a perfect taunt or Shadow Dash and then just blow up someone. But right now, with the way that TCM's setting up, they're not going to give them that opportunity. They're not going to push into the jungle of Copenhagen Wolves. And as you see, for them, they're just sitting on their own side of the jungle. So both teams, it looks like they just want that good start. They don't want to go for anything crazy just yet.
I wonder what they're going to do in terms of pink wards here, because we had this big discussion last time around. Obviously, things kind of switch as to where you need those pinks as Copenhagen Wolves get rid of the first one there. Obviously, that top side of the map, you can ward in the jungle and pretty much stop them coming through any ward in the river and stop them coming up the river at all, that Evelyn, with one single pink ward. But the bottom side then opens up this way around. Plus, he can come through the lane as well, so it's going to be really hard to call again from TCM as to where they put those wards and how many of them they go down, and to depend on how Shook's going to get started with this game. Looks like, as I kind of expected for the third game of a best of 3, that we won't see too much action at level 1, but I could be proved wrong here. Wolves moving up towards blue. Yeah,
Shook looks like he wants to go for an invade here, and he might be able to pull this one off and limit. They're just going to walk straight in, so it looks like they're just going to ward and walk away. And I don't know, TCM did spot them because they do have a ward down there. Actually, yeah, they did have a ward in the river, just making sure, and it looks like Copenhagen Wolves are going to catch them off guard. It looks like they will be to steal this blue away.
Yeah, blue gone. You can see that Jarvan is already trudging across the map. Shook, with the help of his teammates there, with the help of that bomb lane, he's actually got that down really quickly as Youngbuck puts a ward down. He's going to spot Naruto, and the question is now, will he be able to stop that blue from actually going away? Because if they can secure both blues and the red, that would be massive. And look at this, Belgian Beast is going to get pushed onto already. Where is the binding? Kautar not actually got it at this point, and Belgian Beast still, though, forced to flash.
And the thing is, this is the third game in a row that Naruto has had a tough time at level 1. They've been able to pressure him and really able to punish him quite a bit, and he's got to be able to do a lot here. Actually, might get his redstone away too. This would be terrible if he can't be able to hold on to it. Shook, he's going to get caught.
Yeah, he's going to get spotted from this one. There's a Dark Binding actually flashing by and missing. Belgian Beast, though, is still at level 1. He's going to be taking a lot of damage coming out. There's a flashing. Shook's underneath the tower. He's turned this one around. That's a lot of damage with Ignite coming down. Dark Binding's going to save him for now, but there's JWoww. First blood. Scumbag Naruto steals it with the flag, but there is a flash from Kautar. They're going to try and chase him. Now they go on towards Youngbuck. He gets locked up by Belgian Beast. He's going down, and Naruto makes it 2 kills in as many seconds, and TCM defend their red and pick up the kills, and JWoww is now chasing on towards Kautar. I don't think he's got enough to kill him with that Dark Binding off cooldown, but a brilliant, brilliant play from TCM.
I mean, they used the cockiness of Copenhagen Wolves against them. They knew they lost their on blue. They knew Naruto was only level 1, and the thing was, JWoww was level 1, Naruto was level 1, Belgian Beast was level 1 against 2 people who are level 2, and they still came out victorious in that. And Naruto, it was a scumbag move to take away the blue, but I'm sure he's happy because now he can be able to clear the jungle a little bit quicker. And now Wolves, Shook particularly, he's a little bit behind. But however, he does have his own buffs to take, so he's not going to be as far behind as he would if Naruto was able to counter jungle those.
Well, he has them now. We'll see if he actually still has them once he gets around to that red side of the map. And now it was almost a replay of what happened to Shook in that game before. Baited again into flashing underneath the turret, gets ignited up, and then becomes just an easy kill for TCM. So they've got off to the perfect start, but can they turn that around into, you know, it's always hard to a perfect start into a win. It's not always a given.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially with just how this game goes. When one team can catch you off guard in the jungle, especially in Evelyn, who always has that stealth mechanic to use against you. And you started talking about this a little bit before, the pink wards, like how many do you actually buy to kind of counter Evelyn early game? And right now, Barney D hasn't been able to obviously be an assist of anywhere just yet, but he already has a couple pink wards picked up, and I think he's going to do the same thing he did last time. Like, he's got to make sure his lanes have an easier time, but with the 2 assists going to JWoww and the Belgian Beast, they're going to be able to buy pink wards themselves.
Yeah, getting that vision high. One on the ramp there to protect the entry to that top side of the jungle. JWoww with his 2 assists, got a Doran's Blade Crystalline Flask in there as well. And you know, running those double rejuve beads for now. We'll see if he can outlast JWoww in that top lane there. Bang even on the CS. If you look down the AD carries, Reckless actually got the slight edge on that front.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind, this is the first time that these teams have gone into quote-unquote standard lanes, where it's going to be Youngbuck versus JWoww, and of course Reckless Unlimited versus Matroco and Barney D. So we're going to see who can just pretty much outclass the other right now, because usually the Wolves would get that first turret with their dual lane, and obviously not going to be able to do it this time. Well, for now. At least as early as last time.
Not at this stage of things. Mid lane, Lysandra, you can see just picking up that Ruby Crystal. Gonna need to be a little bit careful still, though, of Kaltard's Morgana, as we see Shook headed up around the corner. Obviously, Belgian Beast doesn't have flash. Had to use that one a little bit earlier on. That's the opportunity, really, for Shook to get in, but he's not really tried to force that, and I think by the time he comes around again, that flash will be available for Belgian Beast. Yeah,
and Belgian, he's played it very smart. Like, he's sitting behind minions, so it's very hard for Kaltard to land that Dark Binding for Shook to go in, because Shook obviously doesn't have his flash available anymore, and Belgian, luckily for him, does have that another escape mechanism on that champion. So it's very hard to really lock down right now, and Shook, we talked about it in the first game, like he wasn't very effective. In the second game, he was a lot more present, a lot more around the map, really providing some kills and really making some things happen. But this one, he tried to start off with that yet again. He was shut down, and I'm worried, will he be able to get back in this? Will he be able to get the Wolves fed where they need to?
Shook coming down into this bottom lane now as well. We can see Matroco and Barney D playing this one relatively passive. Not really coming up past that halfway mark. There's a pink ward down, which has been spotted, by the way. Unlimited did manage to hit it once, so they know that that pink ward's on the bottom side. And in the end, it looks like they may try and close in for a 3-man gank, possibly. Actually, Evelyn's headed up in towards there for that blue buff down. And then he's going to walk away.
Yeah, since Shook took that blue level 1, he obviously knows when it's exactly going to be up. So it looks like he wants to contest it yet again, and the smite should be up, I'd say, about time before we do see the engage happen. But here it is. Belgium is kind of getting caught, but that's Lysandra. You have that other escape mechanism. You don't need to use that smite right away, and it's very hard to lock him down if you don't land that Dark Binding.
And now Shook gonna try and steal in there. Yeah, that pink wall coming down. I think they actually spotted that one there, so they're certainly going to see Kaltard coming around for this one. There's an Uterodor. He quickly smites up to get that one away from him. And there is some damage coming from Reckless. There's a Lantern coming down as well. And Uterodor says, nope, I'm sliding away from this one. Got Barney D there for a bit of cover as well. Grasping Roots would have helped keep him safe either way. And TCM managed to hold on.
Yeah, even though it didn't go over to Belgian Beast, it's still a win for them either way, or for the Wolves either way, because they made sure it didn't go over to him. Yeah, it went to Naritador, but you make it so Kaltard, who should be able to pick up his own blue here unless we see an invade come out, to make him stronger in that lane, or at least more present.
Yeah, that'll certainly help things out from him as well. Got a bit from that Doran's Ring, obviously the Crystalline Flask in there as well for the sustain. His top lane, in the last game, to be honest, wasn't much of an interesting game to watch once they actually got, you know, head-to-head. But the thing is, Youngbuck had a lead pretty much the entire time over JWoww. And now he doesn't at all. He's 20 CS behind almost.
Yeah, so it looks like JWoww's been really just controlling that lane. He went for an early Doran's Blade. So he's just going for a little bit of extra damage here just to kind of punish Youngbuck as much as possible. And Shook, because he got shut down earlier on, JWoww feels more confident in being able to push up into his lane, and also more able to buy a couple more pink wards. So now we have a level 6 Naritador versus a level 5 Shook. And we might see some ganks come in, and Youngblood getting very low, but JWoww, he always takes that barrier for some reason. This is the third game in a row on that Kha'Zix, and with that Ignite, he might have been able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, maybe. But then died somewhere else where a barrier would have helped him stay alive. So I think half a dozen, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So Shook here, going to be doing that blue off Morgana, going to come across. Actually, we will see Naruto coming across there. He's a little bit too slow to actually get involved in the action, and that will go over to Kautard in there. But Naruto not finished there. He wants a piece of Shook.
Yeah, he might even be able to counter jungle Evan a little bit here too, but great job by JWoww. As you can see on the minimap, he pushed that lane up. He was able to pretty much make it so Youngbuck misses out on quite a bit of CS and levels, and he comes back to lane with that Hex Drinker. So he's going to be able to sustain the damage that Youngbuck can apply to him, or at least the harass. And right now, Naruto, he's looking for that avenue, that opportunity to really make a gank happen.
So Reckless going exactly the same path as before. BF Sword, Berserker Greaves, probably end up going for the Cutlass next of all, and then to Infinity Edge. We've seen him do that every time up until now. Hex Drinker there, now the Giant spell added in for Youngbuck as well, so that's going to give him a bit more stay-putting power, stay-ability in the top lane.
Stay-ability. Going back to the words. Yeah, I mean,
make them up as we go along.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to keep him in lane quite a bit. It gives him the extra mana regen to harass Youngbuck quite a bit, but he did pick up a Giant's belt, so he's going to be able to sustain it a little bit easier. And right now, look what we have. Naruto, he's going to sneak into this bush here and counter. He doesn't know it's going to happen just yet, but he does have his black shield, so he should be able to block it.
Well, he's got Shook coming in there for this one. They're actually going to go towards Belgium Beast. Kauton actually getting knocked down. His ultimate does go off there, lands the Dark Binding, but they're not quite in range to really put down any more than that. And it was a little bit of a strange fight. Ultis and a lot of summoners burnt across, especially for Belgium Beast. Used everything there. And in the end, again, no fights resulting from that one. TCM stay in the lead 2-0.
And so a gank attempt for Naruto turns out into a counter gank for him, trying to stop Shook from getting the kill. And look how much damage came out of Wolves there, too, onto Belgian, where Naruto just unfortunately couldn't hurt them too bad here. But Kautar with the blue buff, going to be able to really keep pushing this lane up. And a nice Dark Bounty is going to land on the Belgian Beast, so he has to think about potentially backing away now. Yeah,
ticking down pretty quickly now from Kautar. That Tormented Soil can become a little bit annoying, especially once the Dark Binding obviously lands on top of you. Easy ticks away. Let's have a look down the CS once again. And Reckless, and I think this is the first time really in the 3 games that this early on in the game that he's had such a big advantage for it. 116 to 96 right now, as we are going to be seeing the Dragon started off for the first time. It's actually hammering away on Shook right now, who does have his smite, and they are going to take it. Wolves picking that one up. TCM nowhere near it.
Yeah, very smart, because they knew that Kautar made Belgian Beast back away. It's like, all right, we can do Dragon here. Let's go take it, get some free gold. And they're down 2 kills, but they pretty much have that gold tied up exactly just like we saw in game number 1.
So, next thing here, Jarvan towards middle. Kautar, no ultimate. As I said, that just came off cooldown. Does have his flash available, though. Didn't use that earlier on. Are they going to go for a 2-man dive onto a Shen underneath the tower? That's always a dangerous thing to try. Well, TCM may just do it. They may be looking for those risky plays that can come with high reward, but at the same time, massive failure as well if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and that would give Youngbuck the ability to get really fed, where you'd have that Sunfire kick down. We have Shook coming up towards his top side, though. Try to go for a kill on JWoww. Naruto, he's in the vicinity, so he might be able to make a counter gank happen here if JWoww can kite them long enough. But Shook's still being shut down quite a bit in terms of these ganks. Looks like they're going to go in here on this taunt very soon.
And there is a taunt actually coming in. JWoww did jump away, but the taunt had already landed onto him, so he'll walk back in their direction. Can they get away from this one? Hate Spike's coming out there. Youngbuck trying his best to put the damage. The shield from the Hex Drinker comes out, and now they turn it around. Shook is going to go down here. Naruto on a killing spree as Youngbuck tries to get away, but here comes Belgium Beast. Youngbuck not going to get away from this. They pop everything on top of him. What a turnaround again for TCM, resulting in another double kill.
Yeah, great job by them, and we can go back to what we talked about with JWoww, taking Ignite over Barrier, or Barrier over Ignite, and right there, that Barrier saved him so much.
Told you.
And Naruto, being in the vicinity, was able to turn that around. They get a turret as well, so now that gold lead they completely get in favor of themselves, and it looks like they're not done just yet. They're pushing that top inner turret.
Yep, they're going to keep going. Kautar is actually coming across for this one. And TCM, just after that, as we talk about the possibility of that one going down his side. Enough's enough here, guys. Let's back away from this one. That leaves Naruto on 3-0-1 now. And looking very strong after his last round of purchases. See, 4,100 to 2,800 from the jungle. That's massive as, well, Bonnie D did get hooked there, but right underneath the tower, safe.
That's a nice pull, though, but here comes Shook trying to go into the bottom lane. He will try to take it the blue, actually, here, which they've been trying to control quite a bit of this game. But right now, Nurtador's coming down, so is JWoww, and this is actually a fight that TCM wants.
Yeah, spotting him in there as Kautar going to jump in there, not quite getting the knock-off as he throws the ulti. That will go off, and he has to flash away, but here comes Belgian Beast from the side. Can he get in there? Kautar trying his best to get away, but he's walked into the Dragon Pit, which is a dead end, unfortunately, without that flash available anymore, and that will be another one for Nurtador.
So they get 5-0 right now. Nurtador 4-0-1. He has almost his Aegis completed right now. TCM with JWoww getting that top lane down, having 5 assists in every kill of this game so far. They're actually going to push this middle turret, get even more gold for themselves, and Shook actually might get caught.
Oh, they're going to go straight in on top of him. Half of his health already gone from this one. Can he escape? Nope. They all jump in at once, and that was a very quick death for him. Youngbuck come back to just try and defend this middle lane, but honestly, I'm not sure that he can. I'm not sure that they can hold on to this. So they're scared a little bit of that taunt coming in and the rest of the team actually going in. And in the end, TCM just decide, you know what, let's back away. We've got enough from this one. Oh, there's a blue buff available for JWoww as well.
I think that was all due to that pink ward that we saw over towards the red buff. They were able to use that, see when he was coming in, pretty much counter that, kill him, go up 0-6 in kills, and then get some damage onto the turret. And then more importantly, steal away that blue buff from Kautar. So they've been able to lock down the enemy blue this time, but they still have theirs available, which Belgian Beast is currently heading for to take.
So another thing that we talk about is kill distribution. 5 out of the 6 right now on Jarvan, which now makes him a beastly champion coming out of the jungle. He's almost 2,000 gold ahead right now. But is he going to come back to haunt them later on? That they're all stacked on that one man.
It's very tricky, I think, with the jungler. So it makes obviously your damage dealers can't do too much. We haven't seen Matraco get any assists or anything just yet. But the thing is, because Nurtador is going for that early runic bulwark, well, not early, it's just because he has so much gold, he's able to buy it so early, it pretty much shuts down Kautar quite a bit. So it actually works out quite well for them. It's just all about, can JWoww do the damage that he needs to? Can Belgian Beast do it? And with the amount of assists they have so far, they can.
See that ping's coming down on towards this bottom lane. The turret was almost finished off by the Copenhagen Wolves. And it's only 2,000 gold difference right now. That's because the Wolves have had such great control of this dragon once again.
It looks like Belgium will be able to get his own blue. So, all right, dragon will be up in a couple of minutes here. And it looks like Belgium was heading down towards bottom because their turret is very low right now. But luckily for Wolves, they were able to get the middle turret by Kautar pushing it. And just like we were saying before, Reckless going same exact item build, and I think that Kautar, he might be forced into a Zhonya's as his first item on this Morgana. So get into the middle of the team, pop your ultimate, pop the Zhonya's, because JWoww is pretty strong as well as Nurtador. Youngbuck pushed up pretty far. He's not able to split push like he was last game. But here we see an engaged middle here on a Kautar.
Oh, he's going to get ulted up. Cataclysm is down. He's going to get his ulti running as we see. Actually, Belgian Beast goes down there towards Kautar. Now they turn on towards Nurtador. He's got that big bonus on his head, let's not forget. But he's also Jarvan, and he slides away, uses flash in there as well. He keeps that at 5-0-1 scoreline, but now the Copenhagen Wolves with just over 10 seconds until Dragon come up, they've got that positional advantage.
Yes, they do, and this is much needed for them because they're already down quite a bit of gold right now. And the thing was, Kautar, who, was 0-1, decent farm, was able to pretty much 1v1 Belgian Beast right off of that. So that gives a really good sign for the Wolves, gives them a lot of hopes. And that dragon will go down, but in the meantime, JWoww's pushing middle, trying to go for their turret.
And that is that dragon taken. So look at the gold. Wolves are ahead. After all that. Second dragon of the game going in for them. Kautar looked as though he may want to try and get in on towards JWoww, who's pretty much the assist king right now at 0-0-6. On the other side, the AD carries and the support 0-0-0 across the board. A little bit quiet down in that bottom lane. Just been farming away. Reckless a little bit better than Matraco, we should probably point out, at 20 CS difference. But it's TCM right now that have been picking up all the kills. Copenhagen Wolves staying in nicely with a lot of those turrets and dragons. We are going to see Coutard here. Going to get maybe knocked up in the AS. The Stranglethorns actually lands. Bedlam Beast is going to get hooked himself in there as well. He goes pretty low as Matroco takes down Coutard. This could actually be really good as well for TCM as they manage to pick up a 3-for-1 right now. Going to keep pushing for it. Get the turret down as well. They've just Youngbuck and Reckless. Reckless was nowhere near, and they've traded the mid laner for the jungler, mid, and support in that scenario.
And sorry, that was Naruto picking up another kill for himself, so now he's 6-0-3, and JWoww picking up 1 kill and those 2 assists, so he's getting so much stronger, and Copenhagen, or not Copenhagen, TCM just pretty much out positioning right there because they knew, our bottom turret's dead, theirs is available, but right now we could just catch them off guard by pushing middle lane and get the turret, and now they're pushing top here. Turret's still pretty much fully healthy, so not going to be able to get that one down, but still gives them a lot of gold that they need and a lot of momentum, a lot of energy in their team. They're like, guys, we can do this, we can win this game.
Just saw that Youngbuck actually interrupting JWoww, who doesn't actually have much mana left, enough to actually get away as Naruto says, I want to go home. I want to spend up all this cash that I've managed to get myself, which will bring them up to that runic bulwark here. Just less than 20 minutes into the game. What else have we seen picked up? Last Whisper now done for JWoww as well. That's only going to make him stronger. Now, just a single kill, but those 8 assists really helping out his game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been taking, I think, another 5 minutes for him to normally have this kind of item build, which anyone who builds armor against him isn't going to be able to survive too long. And which, considering he wants to kill Coutard, wants to kill Reckless, he's going to be shredding through them. And he's kind of lost his CS lead that he had in the beginning, but that's all due to him, roaming around. Once that top turret dropped, he started joining in for some fights, and TCM, they're trying to take advantage of the situation right now where they have the stronger teamfight composition currently. And they do have oracles on both supports, so they're trying to gain that vision control.
Yeah, as we'd expect, after this 20-minute mark, maybe sometimes a little bit later, as was the case in game 1, I believe, around about 25, I think we saw those first oracles coming down, but that'll certainly be a bit of a battle from there. As Barney, not wanting to face check, decides to use his plants just to see what was going on around those brushes, and ironically doesn't walk in, so not going to be able to clear out the ward. There's a blue buff coming over for Coutard now. He does have that Zhonya's ready for the next fight. But and this is another question here. We saw it nicely done by TCM in that first game. They waited and had a lot of fights to win them the game, but how good are they going to be at setting those fights up this time around?
Well, this comes down to the vision and the ability to see where the fights, or where they want to make the fights happen. As the taunt comes out of Youngbuck, but it's a great flash out of Barney to get out of it.
Yeah, they're not done just yet as the Dark Binding comes away. There is Belgium Beast off to the side, and saw that big shield over on Limited and decides, nope, not going to go. Not going to follow the Claw of Doom in for that one and rain down death all over Copenhagen Wolves. Save that for a little bit later.
The thing is, we look back at game number 2, and Copenhagen Wolves didn't start fighting until Reckless had that Infinity Edge done and the Blade of the Rune King. Right now, he actually built the Blade of the Rune King first, so it looks like they don't necessarily want to start fighting here. They want to keep farming up, and Matroco, he's being left all alone here. He's down 20 CS, but he's going to get a much-needed turret for TCM to keep their advantage up. Yeah,
Bloodthirst, the last Whisper, and is it? Turret down. JWoww actually getting caught here by the Dark Binding. We see the death sentence just come flying through the wall there. Didn't quite land on the target that he wanted. That'd be interesting fight. Matroco versus Reckless 1v1 at the bottom. I don't think neither of them really want to be taking that kind of duel at this point of the game, and they'll just let each other farm things up. Blue buff going to go over to Belgian Beast as well. He must have a decent amount of cash to spend, yeah, almost 1,600 gold when he goes back. You can see the large rod going to come in there surely towards that first Zhonya.
I think when that Zhonya's does get completed, or even maybe right before it, they might definitely go in for these fights, or even when Matroco gets that QSS done, because now Coutard won't be able to lock him up. He won't be hit by a taunt, won't be hit by a hook, so he's going to have that free reign. You'll be able to sit in the back of the fight and just hammer away with that spray and pray going on. And there it comes, the Musi large rod. So now Belgium Beast, he has a lot of damage. He's not level 16 just yet, which might be another thing they kind of want to wait for, because an AP mid laner can get 16 before the opponent. That level 3 ultimate is just going to hurt so much more. But in the meantime, still Reckless just farming away. He's sitting on 1,400 gold, 262 farm. If they don't pretty much do something to him, if they don't force some fights where he has to, really participate, then he's just keep farming to the point where he can't be dealt with.
Infinity Edge has been completed now by Reckless, so let's see if that is the signal once again that the Copenhagen Wolves are going to become a little bit more active when it comes to searching out those fights. In terms of turrets, it's currently 3 for 2 for TCM. Obviously the full ring of the outer circle taken down by them already in this game. Unlimited with the Oracle burning once again. He's going to be clearing out on the top side of Baron. There's actually one inside of the pit there, but JWoww was lurking, and I think right now with that last whisper in there, he could actually probably just take down Unlimited if he gets caught out unlucky.
Yeah, probably very easy. And what the Oracle and Barney D is able to clear the wards at this Dragon, and they do have the timer on, so they're going to be able to pick up their first Dragon of the game, but at what cost? Youngbuck's still pushing top lane, going for that turret. JWoww's going to be hit up there to stop it, but the rest of Copenhagen Wolves are coming up towards this top side.
Yeah, Youngbuck going to be pressured down. Oh, they're going to get in towards JWoww. You can see that he's actually just started to run away. They're all going to go over a ward, and he's going to go, oh, wow, good job of that. He actually did start to move away from that one. Now TCM need to react to this. They're going to lose this turret. They can't keep that one from going down, but at least stop that push going any further than just that outer turret. And as I say that, they're taking a real long time here, and Copenhagen Wolves actually starting to push further up.
Yeah, it looks like there's some indecision within the team as Matrako just didn't start heading up there. He wanted to keep pushing middle, and it looks like he will finally do that, but Wolves, they're just going to back away instead. They're going to play it safe here, and I was actually curious. Could TCM have just rushed down middle while they saw Copenhagen Wolves towards the top side on that first turret? Could they have been able to take an inhibitor or at least force the Wolves to back? And honestly, we're not going to be able to find out here, but no kills going down off of that, and only one turret.
Both teams so very worried here about making that false move. 25 minutes in, probably not just one false move that's going to cost you the game in that moment, but certainly the swing of gold could come into it. It's 2,800 the difference here. A slower game, I think we can safely say, and to be expected. It's the third and final game of the best of three. $30,000 on the line, plus that spot in the promotion tournament for Season 4 of the LCS. So definitely a lot on the line, not just the money or the pride here for these players. More about future, to be honest. Yeah,
that's actually a very good point. I mean, it's about making what you love to do as your job, and right now only 8 teams can really say that in Europe, 8 teams in North America, and they're all fighting for that opportunity, but they still have at least one more map to go here, and then of course the whole promotion tournament to play for that, and items are still coming in. Belgian Beast does have that Zonia's Hourglass now done. And we see the QSS will be coming out very soon from Matrako, but on the other side of that, not really much finished up lately, as Youngbuck is going for that Renwit's Omen that he's typically been doing as his second major item.
So, more Oracle clearing. And it's been very much a tug-of-war game between TCM and Copenhagen Wolves on that front. Every single game we've seen this, and one team's made that decision very quickly, I think. It's like, okay, Ward's gone, and then they start Baron instantly. No messing around from that one. And TCM, they might try and lure them in. Yeah, they're going to start off the Baron from this one. Shen is down in the bottom lane, but Youngbuck has stand united.
But here comes Copenhagen Wolves. They know something's going on. They're going to be walking over a ward here. They need to put something down. That Baron's already at half-life, and this could be a major team fight breaking out here, Joe.
Oh, down to 2,000 health on this one as we see the Dark Binding coming through. Stranglethorn's going to knock him up, but Morgana is in the middle. But look at that, the ultimate not really doing what they needed to do. The Baron was picked up by TCM, but can they finish off? There's the ultimate running from Matrako, but this is not going the way that TCM wanted it to. Barney going to get pushed off on his own towards that Tribush as the hook lands. He's going to get taken out. Unlimited gets that kill, and that will be 3 men down so far here for TCM. JWoww and Matrako do get away. They did pick up the Baron, but they've lost 3-0 there.
And Barney D, though, that was funny. It was a funny, perfect play out of him. He actually ran the opposite way from versus team. He even used his flash to get over that wall just to make sure, hey guys, come kill me, I have an Oracle, and he kept his carries alive. You know, and that was actually perfectly what you mentioned. JWoww and Matrako both alive with that Baron. It still makes them a very strong force in these team fights. And still, how strong do Wolves get off of that? I mean, Kautar, he hit the first charge of his ultimate, didn't land the second proc of it. Everyone got out of range of it, and they still won that fight. What would have happened if it was a little bit different?
Yeah, that's the scary thing, I think, from TCM. And now the fact is they've got a gold lead. They made that play for Baron, but they lost the fight after it, and that, I think, is going to bring a lot of doubt into their mind as to whether they're actually at a point at this stage where they are far enough ahead to be fighting an experienced team like Copenhagen Wolves is. So it could actually drag out this game that little bit longer here because of the fact that TCM now might have some more doubts in their mind.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because if we look back, you know, into the LCS right now, the summer split of LCS, and we talk about quite a bit how the newer teams that came into the split, they play like there's no tomorrow. They play like it's just a scrim. They don't play like it's LCS in terms of playing very defensive, very hesitant, really wanting to rethink their thoughts. And right now, both these teams are doing this. And if one team just got flat out aggressive, I wonder if they'd be able to pick up the win with the other team not expecting that. Obviously, we're probably not going to find that one out because of what's on the line in this game. Yeah. Item builds, I mean, the teams are only going to get stronger, and I'm trying to think who will be better late game. And I think it all comes down to the ability of TCM. Can they blow up Shook or can they blow up Reckless in time? Because Coutard obviously has his zonies to escape, but if they get all onto one person, like Reckless, who doesn't have a GA, who hasn't been able to, or hasn't built it actually in this best of 3 or in the games yesterday, or Shook, who hasn't done that either, then they should be able to kill them and maybe win those fights.
Well, the Vinians pushing down this Baron that they'd lost 3 men to actually secure. Obviously only on 2 of them right now. I'm interested to see what they're actually going to be able to do with this in the long run, whether they'll be able to take out more turrets. They're certainly putting pressure on positional-wise here onto that mid lane.
Yeah, the thing is they can't, well, they haven't been able to split push because they just don't do that. I mean, JWoww, he pretty much can 1v1 most people at this point, maybe not Youngbuck anymore because he's just so tanky and Youngbuck will be able to run away, but they're not trying to go for that. They're actually going for this middle turret here, and we do see the engagement of Belgium, but he gets pulled!
Coming in! That was amazing from Unlimited, hooked him as he came down. Gonna have to use the Zhonya's, but he's dead when he comes back up. Does manage to lock them in position. The turret went down, but Copenhagen Wolves are gonna keep chasing from this one. Barney D is in all kinds of trouble here as Youngbuck gets in on top of him. They can keep pushing from this one now, the Wolves. There are 2 men down, and Copenhagen Wolves at full HP.
And there's your answer off that Baron. Are they going to make anything happen? They got 2 turrets now because Matraco just booked it down to this bottom lane, but now Copenhagen Wolves are just rushing down middle, and with 20 seconds left on 2 members of TCM, they might be able to take an inhibitor turret.
Matraco's going to keep going. JWoww is on the side here, which is not a position that he can really do anything from against a 5-man Copenhagen Wolves team. There's 10 seconds for Belgium and Barney D to come back up. And the Wolves are backing away from this despite having a numbers advantage. And Matraco's going to take this inner turret down, especially now that Coutard gets his recall cancelled. They've got to deal with it, so they're going to lose the inhibitor. The top inner is being hammered away at as well by the minions.
And Matraco, he could probably keep going right now because the rest of TCM did stop them from backing away, but unfortunately for him, he does just start to back away, but still, getting 3 turrets off of that Baron. They lost 1 turret themselves and lost 2 members. I mean, that is honestly a great trade for TCM right now because now Matraco, you have that threat of him just backdooring your bottom inhibitor.
And not to mention the fact a Dragon is going to go their way as well. That now brings them to 4,000 gold in the lead. Still doesn't sound like all that much. Half an hour into this one. There is the inhibitor just cleared out just to make sure that that one doesn't get snuck through. Obviously, the top lane was pushed out there as well. The inner turret did survive that whole encounter, so not all bad, but I think Copenhagen Wolves could have maybe done a little bit more than that if they'd have really put on the pressure.
Yeah, and I was watching the turret go down, and Joe, it was dropping very slowly. They don't seem to have a strong team or a quick team of taking turrets down. All they really have is Reckless, where Coutard, he has a decent amount of AP right now, but he's not very strong at taking these turrets down. So they were a little bit slow, and maybe if they were a little bit faster, they could have kept going. But then Matraco, he would have been able to pick up Inhibitor himself, and with the location of the inhibitors going down, I think TCM would have gotten out ahead in that one because of the threat of Baron buff.
So, Copenhagen Wolves pushing back here up this mid lane. Half an hour into the game, and a 4,000 gold lead stands for TCM. If you're just joining us, this is the 3rd and final game of this best-of-3 grand final from the Challenger tournament. Tied at 1-1, with TCM picking up the victory in the first game on the red side. Maybe their lucky colour here today. We're going to find out about that one.
What is the colour? Everyone here's sunburned.
That's true as well. If we were all blue, I'd be wondering as well. That'd be not the best colour for us all. And, well, Copenhagen Wolves Unlimited actually setting up somewhat of a one-man Thresh hook trap inside of the Baron pit right now. As Barney D comes across, and, well, Unlimited about half a mile away from actually landing that one onto Barney D, who's dodging around. Not the easiest one to hit with boots and mobility on as well, though. Yeah, to be fair to him.
And the thing was, that last pull, he landed over towards the side of their base, towards middle.
Incredible.
Yeah, it stopped Belgian Beast from doing anything. He obviously got his ultimate off on himself, but it didn't matter. It was too late. He was overcommitted, and the rest of TCM just like, all right, no, you're dead. We're leaving you. But right now, Unlimited, he might get caught here. He does have that Oracle, but he's going to flash over that wall. Should be fine. 1. And now, with Baron coming up in about 30 seconds, both these teams are fighting for that position, fighting for that vision, and fighting for the chance to win this game.
Yeah, and that 6-1-3 is a real John man at this stage of things. You don't want to get involved with him. A flash away from Unlimited. It's pretty much, I think, needed there. There's no way he was getting around. He could have probably walked top, but then he's kind of cutting himself off even worse from his team. Get rid of the flash, and all is good. Here we go. Belgian Beast coming over. They're going to go on towards Kautar. Is he going to survive the burst through? Actually, he does Zhonya's at the very last second, but he does go down afterwards. Young Buck's in the middle of them. He's going to use all he can to stay alive in this, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Reckless, though, is at the back. Finally, they get onto him. He's going to get away from the knock-up and goes in towards JWoww, who's going to have that GA pop, but Reckless now is the last man alive around there. Shook is completely away in that middle lane, and they only, look at the health from TCM, very low, but they only lost one man.
Yeah, that was a great fight because they had that vision control. They were standing right on top of War, and they went straight for that engage, and Kautar, the Zonians didn't keep him alive long enough. He unfortunately did die in Reckless, though. I think I have to say, he really turned that fight around with the help of Shook when they used the ultimates together, and then they really tried to pick him off one by one. They pretty much forced them to back away because Baron is now live, and TCM, they didn't feel comfortable enough to take the Baron right after that because they were so low on health.
Can't let Reckless do that in the middle of a team fight. I mean, the fact is that Youngbuck was in the middle of them, and he was the one taking pretty much everything from them once Kautar had gone down, and that's just not the way to do it. I think if Reckless would have been focused there, that would have been a lot more one-sided in favor of TCM. I mean, he's hitting hard. Infinity Edge, Blade of the Ruin King, Phantom Dancer, moving up now towards that last Whisper as well. Like, you need to shut that guy out of the fight.
Yeah, you really do. And because he's Ezreal, he's so mobile. He has the ability to escape from you. Not to mention, with that Blade of the Ruin King, he's really hard to lock down. But look at TCM, they're set up in the same position again. Limited, he might go down.
Yeah, he's going to be dead. Didn't take much time for it to happen either. All pretty much collapsing straight on top of him. But you know, he has to get wards out there. They need vision in this one. So Unlimited is kind of bound in this one that he needs vision, he needs wards, but he needs his team there with him at the same time. Otherwise, they're going to be getting caught out as they go into this one once again. Full combos coming down. There is Kautar using the Zhonya. Going to stun the team, but it's going to be enough to get through. Reckless is still there. Again, they're focusing Youngbuck, but the tank is now down, and they decide, you know what, forget Reckless. We've lost one man. Let's go for Baron.
And that was a 4-for-1. They should be easily able to get the Baron off this. They have a bottom inhibitor to take for free. Reckless looks like he won't stick around to try to steal it away. Just going to go back to farming up. And TCM, they're looking very solid to finish this game out.
Well, it's the second Baron of the game. Look at those spawn timers now approaching 40 seconds at this point for Youngbuck. So it's getting tight now for the Copenhagen Wolves. TCM doing a fantastic job of holding this one out. They sat at an 8,000 gold lead after that second Baron here of game number 3. If you look at the AD carries there's a big difference in farm. Same on the kills though. And it's going to be interesting to see whether, I mean, they did it again there. They completely ignored Reckless in the fight and just went for Youngbuck.
Yeah, the difference is between these two AD carries is the fact that Matraco can sit so far in the back and hit so many targets at once. He can hit multiple targets where, unfortunately for Reckless, he can only do that to one person. Obviously, you can, auto attack one, hit another one with a Mystic Shot, but not the same amount of damage that Matraco can do. And even though he's behind in farm, he's still doing more damage than his counterpart. And right now, with this Baron buff, TCM is going to have so much pain that Wolves, they're going to have a hard time holding on. They have to defend that inhibitor because if they lose that, they're bound to lose another one.
Blue buff going over here towards Belgian.
That would have been cool if he actually took that over the wall and take it at the same time.
All good. And he's going to be going home and spending a chunk of cash that I get. He's got, yep, and it's going to be a Void Staff coming out for him. So there's a lot of pain about to come their way. Another Dragon as well. Why not? While it's there, you might as well take it home. There's a lot of wards come out in the meantime here. And I was talking about Unlimited and his need to, he got caught out before that fight happened.
Right.
He needed to get those wards out, and he's used this time here to literally cover both sides of the map with wards and just hope that they don't get taken away again.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, I believe Barnady does have an Oracle in hand. Yes, he does have the eye above his head. So if anything, yes, he's gonna lose them, but it gives them vision of where they were. So then they're not gonna get ganked in their own jungle, and they can keep that prevented. But right now, TCM, they're barreling down bottom lane here, and I almost said Kautar, but Copenhagen Wolves, they need to defend this, and how they're gonna do it, I'm not exactly sure.
Well, Dark Binding would be a good start. Probably not onto Naruto though. And they keep going through. Youngbuck here taking a little bit of damage. Inhibitor, of course, open for the taking, and Matrocco says, I'm just going to get straight in there. Dark Binding comes in, actually uses a Quicksilver Sash to get away as Belgian Beast goes in there. He's taking a lot of damage, got hooked in once again, but they're going to go. Reckless taking a ton of damage there, but Shen going to go over to him. Coutard uses Zonya's ultimate, not going to mean anything though, as Youngbuck tries to taunt them into that turret once again. But TCM, they've got away without dying here, and they're going to have that Baron regen by the time they get around to this mid lane.
And wow, that protect the Reckless composition coming out of the Wolves, you saw right when Asandra went in, he got that giant spell shield, that giant black shield to pretty much mitigate every single bit of damage. He didn't get stunned, didn't get locked down, and then you had the Shen ultimate come in right behind that to give him another giant shield, so he was pretty much cared for the entire fight, but unfortunately, Shook did go down. He didn't even get the ultimate off, it looks like, and now with that inhibitor being down, TCM can go back by, pick up the buffs away from Copenhagen Wolves, and then push another lane.
I think they're going to go pushing top lane. Makes most sense. Bottom lane inhibitor is down. Those super minions will be doing the work for them soon enough. And they can create the pressure of a split on the two furthest lanes apart from one another. But they've got plenty of gold to spend, and that's the key thing right now. We saw actually Matrocco. He got hit by the Dark Binding, even though he's quite far back in the team. He was so scared that they were going to jump on him, the QSS straight away from that one and walked back out.
All it really takes, though, I mean, if you look at this, is that one Dark Bind to land. Copenhagen Wolves, even though they're down this much right now, almost 10,000 gold at this point, if they land that one Dark Binding onto that right target, they can just train him down. He will get blown up, and that will give them a really nice fight, where if they combo the rest of the stuff onto Reckless, keeping him alive, they can win these fights. So Matrocco, that was a very, very smart play out of him, and all they need to do is just replicate that yet again, but do it when his Quicksilver Sash is down.
Belgian Beast just spotted by a ward there. Probably not going to take too much thinking from the Wolves as to where TCM are going to come from. With this top lane now pushing through. In a turret, I expect them almost to just say, you know what, we're going to leave that one alone here. We're not going to defend it. They do spot that ward in there as Barney D comes around the side. He needs to be careful. He's not exactly a very tanky champion at this stage. Got that Kindle gem in there as well for a little bit extra, but honestly, you just get absolutely destroyed by Reckless if he gets caught out of position. They've taken the inner turret. They're going to go for inhib turret number 2.
This is the real question. Are they actually going to go for it? Or are they going to play it safe and back away for the next Baron? Because it will be up in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And I mean, with what's at stake, that would be the smart move for them, but they're feeling confident. They're feeling like they have the advantage. They're still sticking up here, and it looks like they really want to go for it.
Well, I think if they get the opening before Baron comes up, then they'll go for it. If not, they'll quite happily take Baron again and come back a little bit later on for that. You can see that Reckless drawn away by the super minions. That's an opportunity. Coutard actually getting hit here. Oh, and look at the spray and pray going through. We see the Zonya's Hourglass being used. Belgian Beast is right in on top of them. Stranglethorns knocks up pretty much the entire team as JWoww goes on towards Shook. And without Reckless, who's only just getting into the back of the fight now, they surely can't win this one. They go on towards Reckless. Shen going to try and save him. He's going to fail. That's not going to happen. And this is going to be TCM taking down the Copenhagen Wolves to win the Challenger tournament here in Tenerife. Youngbuck tried to get out in the end. They're still playing a little bit there to finish off the Nexus, but TCM, what a victory. And you can see here how much that means to them, and apparently that was the key to the victory around Naruto-Do's neck.
Just so well done. I mean, they kept their cool and composure throughout the entirety of the series. You saw how happy they were after that first game, cheering, hugging.